What's going on, guys? You got Carter.
You got Crawford.
You got Nate. You got Dylan. You got Nikki. We have Nikki's Wives in the studio today.
Nikki's Wives.
Yeah, you do.
Whoa.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So we are hyped to have these
We're
guys in
actually
today.
really excited.
It's so hyped to be here too. I mean,
Thank you. Thank you. Hey,
Thank you.
It's kind of cool, right, on the campus like this.
Yeah.
We're very blessed to have it. Thank you to CFRE for letting us come in here and talk up a storm.
And a university. I'll give the university credit too because they give us the access to these resources.
Very
And we get them.
grateful.
We use them. We use them.
This lime green paint.
And I didn't want to mention the lime green paint, but the lime green paint sells it, right?
Yeah.
It vibes the energy just up.
The energy, doesn't it? I
You
like
can't be
it.
sad in this room. It's just a happy color tone, you know?
And people looking at you through the wall is like a little bit weird if you say something and you know they're listening.
It's like, hey.
Yeah.
kind of like a zoo.
Yeah.
Oh, this is how it feels to be the monkey, you know? It's how it feels to be the animal, man.
Amazing.
Free me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is a really exciting thing. So you guys are an up-and-coming band from London. You've been together 4-ish years. Is that about right?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
getting
4
a
years.
lot of traction, which I like to see. And you have some really huge bangers of tunes that are coming out. Very, very catchy music. And I really love to see that to start. So I want to know the story of the band. Like, just before we go kind of first break, I want to always get a icebreaker question. out there,
Icebreaker.
like,
Story of the band.
Yeah, like
Where did it
What's
start,
the
you know?
genesis?
It started in London, and these two guys went to Western together, and I met Dylan in London when I like had him play guitar on some of my solo stuff when I was a bit younger, and then we needed a drummer, and Nate was his friend who drummed, so he's like, oh,
Okay.
let's ask Nate to come play, and we just all hit it off. Like, we had this great chemistry, and it never went away.
Never went away.
Yeah, so we had picked up this show in Buffalo, and there's this guy, Bruce Moser, and he's an older cat radio promoter, and his big claim to fame are U2 and Bryan Adams. So
Whoa,
he's like a
wow.
big deal.
It's actually a pretty big claim to fame.
Yeah, he's just you two, and it's like, oh, yeah, no, cool.
So we kind of knew him, Nikki and I, or through a friend at Western, and he's like, "Do you guys want to play this benefit show?" And we're like, "Yeah, let's do it." And we brought Nate in, and he's like, "Oh, you guys are great. Do you have a record?" And we're like, "Hell yeah, we have a record." We didn't.
We were talking a storm that we may not have had there, you know?
Yeah, and I had just moved into this apartment in London, and being like a procrastinating idiot student, I had forgot to get the gas turned on, and
Oh, no.
it was like a full month wait, so it was freezing, and we had a week to write this record for this guy. So we knocked it off in my freezing cold house in a week, and that's kind of how we started to get momentum. Actually, Nate's wearing this shirt for a celebration of life of Bruce's wife.
Whoa,
peace.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
I like that she looks so animated. For
Yeah.
those of you who can't see, it's like a woman like full eyes open, like face open, everything.
She just looks real happy. She looks real happy. I like that energy. Yeah, rest in peace to her.
I love that you guys had the cojones to say yes when you didn't actually have
Yeah.
it. That's rare.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
really rare. So many people would have just said no, but you guys said yes and you
Yeah.
did it. Yeah,
And then
we'll get it to you in like a week. We're just mastering right now. It's fine.
And then the pressure's there to actually make it too, right? It's just
Oh,
like, so
yeah.
now we've committed to it. What do we do? We do it now.
And we had never written together either, the three of us.
So it's-
it was like this doesn't go well. Like, Jesus.
what do we do?
You know, but we got demos to him in a week, and then he hooked us
Nice.
up with Robbie from the Goo Goo Dolls, who let us use his studio in Buffalo.
Wow.
And we tracked our first record there, and that was like another week, and 2 weeks in, we had it done, and we're ready to start going. Yeah. Just
So the beginning of September, we decided to work together, and by the end of September, we had an album, and we were doing shows like that quick.
We're not even a real band.
and the lie continues to this day.
Oh.
Here we are.
That's a really fast turnaround. Actually.
That's so
I don't think I've
cool.
ever heard a story quite like that. So you really put it out there really fast. And then what was it, like constant gigs after that? Did you go through some turmoil and you had to fight for gigs, or was it just like you kept getting steady music?
So right after that, again, another weird thing. We end up at the San Francisco Victoria's Secret Super Bowl party playing.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Wait.
Same
What?
shirt for the-
Yeah, where'd that one? The San Francisco Supermodel Super Bowl party?
Yeah, it was called Leather and Laces.
What did you guys wear on stage?
Leather and laces, dude.
Well, they obviously got like the new Angel set from Victoria's Secret.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
And I wore a
obviously.
suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we end up at this San Fran thing. It's 3 songs and the most high pressure thing we've ever done in our lives.
Yeah.
And I won't name names, but like this band plays before us, and it all falls apart on stage, and it's
Thank God, right? Thank you. Like,
Yeah.
whoa,
No,
this is
'cause
good. This is a
there's like-
blessing.
There's like 2,000 people there, and no one applauded. It was like, oh God, what is he saying?
We're going to go next.
But thankfully it goes okay, and then from there we do South by.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we got a tour with CeeLo.
Which is,
Damn, that's a
still think
crazy
that's
6
the
months.
coolest thing ever.
Which that was also really weird. We were in the studio working on some new songs, and we get this email that doesn't have anything in like the body of the email. It's just the subject. It says, "Do letter U want to tour with CeeLo Green?"
Oh,
And we're like, "Okay, this
is this a phishing
real.
scam? This has
Yeah.
got to be a phishing
But it ended
scam.
up being real, so we were like, "Oh, okay,
Maybe,
cool."
yeah, let's
And
do
then- Yeah, we did it.
You just reply like in the title, yes, and then you just change
Some
the.
more information.
Yeah, just
Can't just
no,
be like, yes.
Yeah.
no message in the body or anything.
Done deal.
Just done deal. We will take this deal. We don't know when, where, how, but we want in.
Yeah, so we grab that tour and we start scrambling. It's like time to get a work visa. We really gotta go. And I remember it was like our first date in New York, and we're playing this thing called the Circle Line Cruise, and it had been a super windy day, and the boat's rocking like crazy, and our visas hadn't come in yet.
Oh, no.
So we're standing on the pier, waiting for a call from immigration, being like, "Okay, you can play," or "Okay, you can't." And it worked out again that we could play last second, and our first show with CeeLo was like anchored under the Statue of Liberty on a boat. It was
What?
pretty out of control.
Do you guys got like some cool band shots with like obviously? Yeah, he's
think so.
shaking his head like
We
you.
got some good pictures from that night. I think Sammy got some good ones.
Yeah, yeah.
He's the photographer for that tour, who we've since become pretty tight with.
Nice,
What's up,
nice.
Sammy?
Yeah, what up, Shadow
What
Sammy?
up?
Is that your favorite place you guys have gigged then? On a moored boat under the lake?
Frickin' Statue of
Yeah.
Liberty.
Interesting. I mean, the boat ride was like a little bit choppy.
Oh,
And,
man.
I've never done this before, and it was really hard doing it for the first time that night, playing drums on a rocking
On a
boat,
rocking
where,
boat.
like, your cymbal's just moving away from you and then coming back.
Your timing.
Oh no! Oh, we're good. Yeah.
Yeah, your kid's just
Yeah.
like leaning away in different directions.
Did you get seasick?
No, I think we were. I think we were all pretty
Yeah.
Oh man,
But,
that's very lucky. I always get so seasick, so I couldn't do it. But kudos for you guys, man.
Yeah, very. That's huge.
Make it happen.
Yeah, that was
Hey,
bizarre.
it's just whatever, man. Brush the shoulders off. It's just, you
Well,
know.
there was like a storm, a huge storm right
man.
before the show.
It's a great time to get on a boat and go
the
out there,
water
right?
Was so choppy, and I was like,
movie worthy.
It's weird.
yeah, it was bizarre.
I couldn't even imagine. Whoa, like because that's like the ocean there. Is that like they're on the coast and like, damn, New York, man, New York.
There was always something that they would teach in music school to me, anyways. Maybe you guys got the same thing where they said, and I never knew what it meant, but like, there's gonna be an element of your life that we just can't prepare you for, and that's probably one of them. Like, how do you play rocking back and forth on a boat in the dark, in the storm, in the cold? You can't practice that.
adaptable and
You-
flexible
Yeah.
and just
You gotta get it done.
Just rock it.
however it needs to happen.
You gotta get it done. I'm going to first.
We're going to
break.
break.
Thumbs up
Going to
on that.
break.
We're going to Playing with Fire by Nikki's Wives. Guys, this is your newest video, correct?
Yeah.
This is
You
sweet.
want to say a word about it? What do you like about it? What you don't like about it?
I
All the
mean,
dirty deets?
The video's pretty sick. We have like fire eater, fire
Whoa.
spinner.
Okay.
There's lots of fun tricks, so you should go check it out. It's Nikki's Wives Playing with Fire on YouTube.
Okay, we're gonna go
Simple as
to Nikki's
that.
Wives Playing with Fire, and also I Learned by Valdi will be back after the break with Nikki's Wives in studio.
DriveWire, see you free. Da 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 da. Welcome back.
I always love how unofficial we are when we go in like the 5, 4, 3. Everyone's talking until like 1.
The 1 second it goes silent, and then we go live.
Like that. So we found out that you got an endorsement deal on the break. How
Yeah.
did that
It's a
happen for you?
pretty
So-
right to it. It's a pretty big
I didn't
deal.
actually mention this to you guys. Like, the show was created to find out how we can take artists who just have talent and then bring them to artists who have talent and are getting paid for their talent over time from shows or gigs or endorsements or like anything, you know what I mean? So how did you create that? How did that happen for you?
So it's like a bit of a long story, but there's this guy, Emil Wursler, and he played in Chimera and Doth and all these huge death metal bands. And he ended up living in London for a minute, and I knew that I wanted to like hang with him and get to know him, but the only way I could see to do that was to be like, give me some guitar lessons. So I essentially paid him to be my friend for a little bit.
That's the way in, though. That's the way in. Once the friendship is made.
But then he needed to get this record done, and our producer, Alistair, is a monster. And I was like, come to our studio, track this record. And we did the record at our place. And from there, he hooked me up with the PRS people, and the PRS people have been helping us out. They've even like tossed us some guitars. We just did a giveaway of one for our record release, and it's been awesome. Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Shout out to PRS.
And I was just supposed to say that.
For such a massive brand, like they're I think the third biggest guitar manufacturer. Like they actually give a shit about indie music, and they're actually trying to support us and help us come up.
They care about you guys. Like they care.
Like, they treat us when we got robbed, we were on our way to LA last time. Our van got broken into.
Well, there's another story I would love to get into after, you know?
We lost some guitars, and, you know, as soon as I got to LA, the PRS guys called me, and they're like, just head to the showroom.
Head to the show, we got
grab whatever you want for your recording sessions. Like, no rental fee, no nothing. We'll get you all set up for the weeks you're here.
For the weeks, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because they want, well, your success is, you know, it helps them too, right? Because, you know, if you hit them, the high achievers, 5 stars, they're going to be there right from the start. They're going to be like, you know, we were supporting these guys right from the start. Equally beneficial to both parties.
Yeah, and especially right now, because guitar is kind of like not super in fashion. So the more kind of young come-up people that they have, the
promoting
better it
their
is
rigs
for them.
and
Because, you know, PRS tends to be a pretty expensive brand, so not a lot of indie people play them. I play, like, the more simple ones. Personally, I'm not
that's simple. That's simple.
Not super into like the super crazy flame maple, but when you're talking like $5,000 guitars, it's hard to get kids into them.
Absolutely,
So I think them supporting small acts like us is super great for them and super great for us.
Yeah, man, and it shows a lot about, like you said, a larger company that actually is showing interest in the smaller guy. I think it says a lot about their character and who they are, which is really cool.
Gives a shit about the bands.
And like they treat us all the same. You know, the guy, my rep there, he'll pick up a call from me just as fast as he'll pick up a call from Mark Tremonti or something. It's crazy how well they treat us.
And that, I mean, that's a family feel though too. That's the feel we always try to have with DriveWire. When you guys all come in, we try to make you feel like, you know, we're all family. You know, we're all just having a conversation. We don't want any awkwardness. We don't want, you know, and so I like to think that comfortability kind of lands with the guests when we kind of have you guys in. And if a brand can do that with bands like you guys, they hit a home run, grand slam.
Brands to do that. So
for sure.
Super great company.
If any brands are listening, shout out, you know, take a lesson. We want sponsors. We'll treat you right.
So you guys just dropped an EP. I'm taking it totally derailing the conversation. I'm done with that. We got the endorsements. Thank you for talking about that.
That was awesome.
Tell me about Bloom. How did it happen? This is your EP dropped Friday. Really recent. Love it.
Yeah.
Give me the deets.
So Bloom is kind of like all the songs we've been writing over the past year. It started in Nashville, where we spend most of the time, and then we went out to LA and rented this like really beautiful Airbnb.
Ooh.
And every time we would type the address into Google Maps, it would come up Bloom Recovery. So it turns out like we were staying in an old rehab facility that like turned into this house, which is like really ironic because we were partying a lot in that house.
Drugs to you.
Yeah.
But so it was like just such a cool time and like experience being there. So we named the EP Bloom after that Airbnb, I guess. And
that's cool.
Yeah, but it's cool because the last song on the EP Wanna Know was one that we've been playing live for probably like 3 years. We played it at almost every live show we have, and we had never had like a recorded version we were super happy with. So for this record, we were like, we need to do Wanna Know, and we need to make it fit with what we have going on right now because it like we all love the song so much. So it's cool to finally put a song that we love out so much and to have like this body of work.
I love that.
That's huge.
So I asked you before we went on air, I said, who does the writing? And I was expecting to hear Nikki does the writing, but that's not the answer.
It's not
the
even
answer
close.
Is everyone does the writing.
Yeah.
So for me as an artist, I hate co-writing because I'm a control freak. You know what I mean? So how do you guys cooperate? How do you do it? Who's priority? Like who? You know what I mean? How does that happen for you?
We all kind of, when we sit down and do like a writing session, we basically just start off the day with like a little show and tell. So we're all kind of in our day-to-day life, like just putting down like little ideas into your phone or like just on your computer or laptop or something like that. Just like small skeletons or sketches of ideas that you think might be cool. And yeah, we'll start the day and we'll just listen to a bunch of stuff. And the one that like grabs everybody, like that's cool.
That's the one we're gonna
Start
pursue.
running with it that day.
Yeah.
Everyone just kind of attacks it and shapes it and forms it and builds it any way they can. And the end result is just all of us, all of our personalities just like spattered on it.
And everything gets kind of a lot more 3D anyway. Like it always kind of, I'll write a song on my own, and we never come in with like full song ideas. We come in with 20 seconds max.
Just kind of like riffs or something, like just kind of humming of tunes and rhythms and
a drum beat. We call them song seeds, but
song seeds to plant big beautiful flowers. I like that.
but like
Bloom
it's
the flowers and put out the blooming.
Ah, there we go.
whoa.
Yeah, whoa, man, that was pretty freaking crazy, man. We're done, man. That was crazy. But anyway, sorry.
No, but it's hard to let go, but once you do, it's kind of a lot more fun. And I think like the only rule we have is if you're gonna say no to an idea, you better at least have something to replace it. It doesn't have to be better, but you better have a different direction, because that's the only thing that makes co-writing hard. I find is like someone who's always slamming the brakes in the studio, being like, "No, I don't like that."
Well, then what are you bringing to the table?
Yeah,
What are you?
exactly.
How are you helping us progress if all you're doing is saying no?
You know, even if
Where's your ideas, Frank? Or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
and even if it's
I don't, I've never met a good Frank. I like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that because there's, like, look, what if I'm just saying no and I'm not giving you any value? Like, that's somebody. So I love that we're talking about this, because one thing that I've said over and over, and our guests have said over and over, is like, you're almost aiming to be the easiest person to work with in the studio, right? Like, you want to be that guy who can.
And I got a very good vibe. These people are super easy to work
Yeah, you
with,
guys
because
seem
they
to
walked in
tell.
and they're just like, "What's up?" And we're just like, "We're talking."
But the idea is exactly what Dylan's saying. Is not like look, if I'm no, Nikki, I don't like that, but this is what I do like. Is a really, I think that's a great rule to have.
Yeah.
Did it come by honestly, or did you always know right from the beginning? Okay, if you're gonna say no, like,
You gotta have a better idea.
is there a story to
For
it?
me, so I started off like you, where I was like, "This is my idea. Like, you can't touch it."
Don't change it. Very protective of like
and
the
I
idea.
just straight up be like, "No."
No.
So I like kind of.
Okay, Frank, you know, what's up,
I
you
was
know?
Frank. No lie. At the very beginning, but
It's now called
like
Frank's
pretty
Law.
quickly realized,
Okay, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said it. I'm sorry.
but pretty quickly you learn that it's like you also just kind of make things awkward when you say that, so everything just slows down and gets quiet. So you just learn like.
Plus, we're not tracking a tape, man. So like, so what if we try a new idea?
A new idea, yeah.
Always
Like, it
go
literally
back.
doesn't
You better
matter.
cut, rewind. You better
Yeah.
put money in my account for that wasted tape. Like,
Right?
no.
Yeah.
We live in a digital world where
Yeah.
it's quickie,
For sure.
quick in the button.
And like, we are big creative momentum people, so like, as long as we're moving forward, you know, maybe at the end of the day we end up with this terrible song, but you know, as long as we're moving forward,
still-
we're having fun, and we'll start again tomorrow.
You
know?
still did something. You still have
Yeah.
kind of, you still built something throughout that day.
Sure.
Not everything you make is going to be good.
No.
Yeah, but
It's
always
just,
a
it's
step
a
in
help.
the right direction.
Exactly. It's a help building to make that beautiful masterpiece, and that's what Bloom is.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's what we tried.
I like this guy. Where did we find him? You're good. You can stay.
I can stay. I'm like a stray cat. I've done my well now.
Was there like a turning point in your band's history where it happened and you were like shit, now it's serious?
This is serious.
Or has it always been serious?
I mean, it's always been pretty serious. For me, a big turning point was I like left high school and like went with online classes, and I
Damn.
finished like writing all my final exams and like graduated high school on the road. So
Wow,
for me,
that's huge.
that was like a big thing, because like I was like, oh, I'm leaving like being this life and going
Yeah.
out.
Wow.
That's
so
awesome, though.
You were what, like 17 when that happened?
Yeah, 17.
So you decided to abandon the conventional life to do music in high school.
Yeah.
Fuck. let's talk about that. How did that?
Yeah, how did
Take a
that?
lot of going-
Yeah,
How
that.
did that happen? Like you were just like you hated everything and you loved music, or
Kind of. I mean, so like a lot of things happened. Like my best friend at the time, like did like I was like being bullied, all this like stuff. So I was just kind of like, screw it. I don't even want to be here anymore. And then we got offered to tour. And I was like, this is the perfect. And I was missing a lot of school anyways, because like I would miss like 2 days a week. And it just got to be a lot. So I was like switching to online classes. And then I was just like, you know what? Whatever. I'd rather be.
You love the music more,
I'd rather
right?
be doing music like
yeah.
in the real world instead of taking it in a class.
It's like they say with work, if you love what you do, you're never actually truly working.
Yeah.
And you didn't love going to school, but you love doing the music. So
Yeah.
F school. I'm going to do the music.
I mean, like.
But I did graduate though. So.
That's what matters. That's
Yes,
what
I
matters.
did
Yes,
graduate.
knuckle bump you for graduating. It's very
And
important.
you look at like those Berkeley guys, like John Mayer and Steve Vai and all those dudes. The like hallmark of a Berkeley guy that succeeds is that he does not have a diploma.
A diploma,
From Berkeley,
yeah.
because he gets scooped up to tour right
Just
away.
right
you know?
away.
Where
or
were we?
just
Were
gets
you?
bored.
Yeah.
Musically bored at Berkeley. Like, are you kidding me? But some people.
Some
are
people.
At that level,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can only. It's unfortunate, and it doesn't matter what school this is. Like, you can only go as fast as your slowest student, right? So
Yeah.
the one who's the star student, you're gonna be bored going slow.
Where were we for your prom? We were at side stage at the drive-in reunion in LA. That was pretty.
And there are all
that was
these
pretty
videos of me.
wild.
I'm like, everyone else is at my high school prom and I'm here. Woo!
Woo!
Just giving like the middle finger.
Double
up.
fingers to everybody. Like, this is awesome.
didn't know.
And we're in LA at the Palladium.
So the big turning point was alcoholic responsibility. Then.
You got it. Yeah.
Isn't that a major turning point in all our lives? It just eventually comes, there is no time. It just happens.
LA's a dangerous one, man. It's a dangerous one. What do we got?
I'll have to venture this LA place one day. I've heard things about it, Sounds like a wild,
Very
wild
strange
jungle. Very strange.
We had some of our weirdest experiences out there.
Oh,
And-
I think we're headed back there in a couple weeks.
yeah.
Okay, what do you say to people who haven't been to LA but are going down there? What should they expect that's weird?
Yeah, what's some tips? Tips and tricks?
Don't accept the drugs. That's the one.
Yeah.
I've been to LA and like you're gonna get offered drugs on the street.
yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of different times you're gonna get offered it.
Probably that a lot of the stereotypes are true, which was strange to me. Like you go down and there's like the LA person and you're like, wow, like you really exist.
you exist?
This is insane.
Can I take a picture?
Yeah.
So let's go there. Like when I
Let's go there.
When I say LA,
What is the LA
yeah,
person?
Just the image. Just the image.
But there's a different kind of person that there is in LA than there is in like New York or the.
Oh,
Well, we got two different sides of the country, right? We're
Yeah.
dealing with two different.
I mean, I prefer
Hey, yo,
to live
pizza.
north.
Hey, Vinny.
They'll tell you what's on their mind. They'll be honest.
Oh,
with you.
yeah.
If they don't like what you're doing, they'll just be like,
Blunt.
"Okay, see,
Boom.
don't waste my time." Like,
Yep.
But in LA, there's this face and there's this veneer and this mask of like, "Oh my God, it's so good. We should get lunch sometime. We should write sometime.
Oh.
We should do this." And nothing ever ends up happening. Like everyone's just there trying to like get us to get a step up.
Well, that's the one thing I've always heard
Use
with.
people.
Yeah, they're always trying to self-succeed off of the backs of other people who are also trying to help them. And
Yeah,
That's dirty. I don't like
can
that.
actually agree with that. I spent some time in LA myself, and like, it seemed very much like almost no one did what they said they were gonna do.
Right.
And you walk in so hopeful because everyone's like,
Yeah.
"Hey,
And
let's do
everyone
this,
talks the
let's do
game.
that,
Yeah.
let's do this."
And everyone lies too. Like you could be in the like a big thing people lie about is working with Prince in LA. Every person
Prince or
worked with
Drake.
Prince. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what?
And it's like oh, someone they know sort of knows them, so they're like, oh,
My brother's uncle's
totally wrote on
cousin,
that last
third
album.
stepsister work with Prince, man.
Or
you
they
know?
like wrote copy on like a Prince Instagram ad once, and you know
Once.
what I mean? Like,
There's 6 million posts on Instagram, my friend. Like that doesn't.
Yeah, man.
Ah.
It's hard too because you don't want to get known as the person who like over shouts who they are. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe I play at NAMM and Steve Vai plays on a different stage at NAMM, and now I'm like, yo, I played with Steve Vai.
Yeah, dude.
That's not playing.
But we all got to play the game too, you know.
Yeah.
You just gotta,
Yeah,
they
no,
just
that's
draw the
how
line
it's-
in a different place, I
Oh,
guess.
that's
But
serious.
all that said, man, when you find your circle of people in LA, and we definitely do have a group of people in LA that we really love working with,
yeah,
and
they're
they are
amazing.
like the good kind of LA, like creative, free, hippie people that are
Nice.
just super fun to work with.
Nice.
And it's beautiful out there, and they have the best Mexican food in the world out there.
I second both of those things.
Yeah.
I really love that you brought the positive side to it because it's not all bad.
No,
It's not.
absolutely
No.
not.
It's a
There's
good
reason
good
why
city
it's
of
like Mecca,
opportunity
you
as
know?
well.
I love that,
Yeah.
man. I love that. I have so many good questions here.
He is the man of questions. I'm just the guy that just casually sits here, fills in the space that, he's thinking. So I'm like, what's up, guys? It's,
Commentator and the stats guy, right?
well, you gotta be. We're going with 28 episodes with 19 awkward silence breaks. CFRE Radio, Mr. Niffin.
Was there anything that you guys learned that that like totally blindsided you, completely off guarded you? Did anything happen where you're like, damn, I wish I'd have seen that? Like anything like that?
Well, the van.
The van.
The van was probably
van is
one.
one. How did you react to that?
Oh, getting robbed.
Oh god.
Yeah.
So we're in Indio, California,
Yeah.
driving our whole studio out to LA to go record part of this record, actually.
Yeah.
And I step out of the motel and I see both back doors of the van just
What?
flung
Did it
wide
even-
open,
Oh.
and I'm like, oh god. And the night before, Nate and I are having some beers, and we're like, yo, dude, we're like such cool minimal people,
Such a
like,
minimalist,
I not even hard for me to pack. I just take everything I own, all my clothes, I put it into a suitcase, I put my overnight clothes in my backpack, and then I'm done. I don't even need to think about it. Well, what got stolen? Both of our suitcases.
Both the
Everything we
suit.
own.
all of
Oh
our clothes.
I mean, the only silver lining I'm seeing is like if you're a minimalist and everything gets stolen, it's actually quite easy to
Yeah, it's
replace.
just
the
easy to
smaller
replace.
Pile,
We
but
didn't
that
really
still
care about
really
shit.
sucks.
Yeah.
The only thing is you lost like a bunch of really cool T-shirts that you've been collecting, but
Yeah, we were driving around Indio, like eyeballing every person walking down the road, being like,
Where's my
"My
T-shirt?
socks?"
Those my socks, yo. Yeah.
Wait, so where was this when you got robbed? Where?
Indio, just where they hold Coachella. So so the story is, I don't know how true it is, but they know what a Sprinter van looks like there, and they know to hit it, basically.
They're just kind of because it's all so common,
are
bands
always
and
coming
everything.
through. And
yeah.
I mean, it's a tough part of California where, like, when that festival's not happening, it's a desert. There's not too much going on.
That is what kind of boosts the area for the economy and
It's
everything.
awesome for them, but yeah, I mean, it ended up working out in the end. We got a bunch of stuff back and managed to chase a lot down,
Yeah,
but
you got your custom guitar back with your mom's name.
Yo, really?
That's huge.
Wow.
How did that
How'd you
happen?
find it?
Yeah.
dude, basically, I think the dude who sold it or stole it tried to sell it back to me because he was probably having a hard time flipping it. And he's like, "Give me $1,000 for it because that's what I paid for it, and I'm just trying to be a nice guy." I was like, "Look, dude. I mean, you have insurance, home insurance?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, well, it should cover this. Here's the case number and here's my address. You can talk to the police about it or ship it to me. It's your call." And he called me and screamed my ear off and then sent me a tracking number because he didn't want to talk to the cops.
Probably there was some other
Yeah.
things shady with that guy, man. You
Yeah, that guy. He was up to other stuff.
Yeah, man, that's a good ass story. Right before break.
Right before the break, I say we're gonna send it to break now. We got another tune from you guys.
We do. We have "Shaking Hands with the Devil" by Nikki's Wives.
All right, let's
Is
do
this
it.
one of the faves?
This is. It's off Bloom. It's one of our new ones.
Yeah, and this is one
yeah.
about touring, about
Yeah.
living in that van and getting robbed. So
Feeling like you're gonna die.
Well,
in the van.
what a great coincidence for the song, man. This is fantastic.
Make sure you're turning up. We also have "Never Recover" by KO, and then we're coming back for more with Nikki's Wives here on CFRE DriveWire Radio.
What? Are we standing? Are we sitting? We are all over the place here at DriveWire Radio, CFRE.
What's up? You got
What's up?
Carter, you got Crawford, you got Nikki's Wives in studio. It's Dylan, it's Nate, it's Nikki. This is the part of the show where I tell you what I learned from you.
let's hear it.
I just sit down and shut up. This is a great part of the show.
Quiz time.
Quiz time.
First thing I have is just says "say yes." So you guys did this whole thing where you did a show. I knew you would sit. I knew
Yeah.
Well, it was like an awkward height. The mic,
Yeah.
so
Right?
I had to
It's a-
commit.
You
There
said
we go.
yes when you didn't have a record. I love that. It's like it's necessary. Like you
Yeah.
can't say no. Like the only time you would have met that person and been able to say yes and deliver is then.
Yeah.
So you can't say no, even if the answer is actually no. You gotta be, yeah, we can do it.
We can
You know
do
what I mean?
this.
If we would have said no, it would have been no forever.
Exactly.
Yes.
And you didn't, and it took cojones,
Took
and
off.
you probably were like, fuck, how are we gonna do this? But you did it.
We almost made a whole episode. We almost did. Yeah, you guys tried hard. I see it. I see it in the facials. You're like, I would have said that if I could throughout the show. God damn it, you know.
No, I love that, and what I have here is just says make pressure your friend. I see so many artists who don't do that, but you guys did, and putting a little bit of pressure on yourself, not too much, not overwhelming pressure, but like you get it out there, right? Like you can say, okay, here's my deadline. I gotta get this dude from, I'm not sure where it was. You said that
Buffalo.
That's right. I gotta get him my EP, and I don't have a freaking EP. We better write some damn songs.
Yep.
We gotta go down to Bloom Rehab with a bunch of drugs and get hammered.
All right, guys, I got the drugs. You got the booze. Let's go. Let's go write an EP.
Yeah. I love this. The next thing I have is, I kind of got it from Dylan. It's make friends even if you have to pay them first. So,
That's the story of my life, baby.
Guy, I'm available to be friends. Just $20, you know.
It's in the mail.
so literally right before I came here, I stopped in to do some Christmas shopping at Best Buy, and I didn't have a reason to go in except I was drawn to it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And then the reason wasn't a thing at all. It was someone. And this guy is an old friend of mine. His name's John. I found John in there, and he's talking to me about how he's trying really hard musically to make it. And I was like, but what do you need, really? And he said, I need people. Like, I need to meet these people. And he was saying it as if it was like a dead end. And I'm like, but how could you meet these people? Like, what's the next
What are you
step?
doing to meet them?
Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's so important. And then it eventually got into, okay, well, let's look up an event on your phone right now. Like, let's do this and figure out the next one you're going to go to. But you did it. You're like, okay, this guy came to London. I knew he was a monster. I wanted to be around him and elevate myself. And you literally said, okay, like, how can I get in his circle? And it was fucking guitar lessons.
Yeah, and
Like, dude,
worst case, I got guitar lessons with a dope player.
And
you
best
know?
Yeah,
case,
best case, you get-
PRS deal out of it.
Yes.
That's crazy. So as much as it's silly and satirical, like actually make friends, even if you have to pay them first. Make them as friends, like shake their hands, get to know them.
Shake their hands.
Freaking have them in for a radio show, because now I know Nikki Wives the band. You know what I mean? Like
One of the coolest guests we've had on too, so that's
it's been
cool.
a lot of fun.
Been a lot of good times.
Mimic first and then master. I think it was. I'm just stealing from Dylan, guys. Like I don't know. What
I know. I don't even know.
What
when
are
we
you
showed
guys
up.
bringing to the conversation? Because we got this
Wise
guy,
man,
you know.
No, but
Yeah.
it's so true. Like, I'm a guitarist, and learning guitar styles, you want to mimic people, or drums, or bass, or seeing, you know, the pads that you guys had out here, how to play those.
Those are
or
so
your
cool.
Vocal technique. Like,
Vocal
I'm sure
techniques,
you have
yes.
someone who you're like, holy crap, I wish I could do that,
Yeah.
and now you can.
Mhm.
I love that, man. So find
Definitely.
the people you want to be like and do what they do, man.
Mhm.
Just literally fucking copy them, and then you'll do it slightly different, and someone will come up to you and be like, whoa, man, that's such a crazy sound. I've never heard that before. And you're like, well, it's just like John Mayer and Steve Vai kind of mix, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
That's all it is.
It's real.
But it becomes you. It becomes who you are. So mimic first and then master.
Like even with the live performance though, when they played, I heard a lot of just like different artists coming out in that music, but it was still Nikki's Wives. I'm like, but that sounds so sick. It reminds me of them, but that also is such a good grabbing aspect because now I'm gonna keep going back for more to see what more I can discover in the music, you know. So yeah,
Totally. I love that. I love that.
my commentary is unnecessary in this last part.
No,
I just jump in when I can.
That was good. That was good. I have harvest the seeds.
Well, get the crop, buddy.
yeah.
Harvest
We
the seeds,
talked-
get the
we
crop.
talked about song seeds.
Yeah,
right?
plant the
So
seeds.
How many musicians do you know that don't harvest them? I've planted hundreds. I have hundreds of recordings, like easily, no
yeah.
exaggeration, hundreds of recordings.
Totally.
But like, it's a rare thing to take those to full song, right? And you guys have harvested them, and lots of good stuff has come out of it for you. And so many artists, I think, they plant the seed, but they don't return to it or make something of it or make it good or whatever. They just create it and move on and make another one. So that's that. You looked at Nate there. Is that a thing or?
No, I was just thinking about his stupid pun he made earlier.
And it blooms, and that's REP. There
Yeah,
it is.
I like that. It works.
Okay, I love that. And then the last thing that I really took from you guys, it came from how you share music together before you create it. And I'd have care, but don't take it personally.
Yeah.
Care, like really care when you're making it. But when you share it, like if someone says to disagree, don't take it too personal, you know? Like relax.
Work with that, you know,
Yeah.
try and evolve the idea to something else, you know?
Yeah,
For
but
sure.
don't be scared to just lose the idea because you'll find something you love more in it, and you know it came from that idea deep down anyway. So
That's great. That's a great takeaway.
I
That's
love
a great
it, man.
point.
This has been Nikki's Wives in studio. They have some shows coming up, so I gotta drop a couple of heads.
Drop
up.
the
So they have
shows.
Sunday at the Mod Club. Doors
This-
are at 7. They're going on at 11 p.m. It's gonna be a ridiculous show. There's some shows from like overseas. You guys said Japan's
Yeah.
showing up.
Japan
Whoa.
and Korea, a bunch of really
Korea.
great indie week artists are
Right on.
playing,
So it's
closing
gonna
out the
be
week.
so-
We are capping off Indie Week as well, right? This is you guys are the last.
Culminating
It's the last event for it, yeah.
That's huge. That's huge. You guys are
First
the.
time at Mock Club.
You guys get.
Well, that's also double cool then. Double
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. Double
okay.
Double cool. Yeah, that's what I like to think I am. But
Nikki's Wives is
yeah.
drinking their Mod Club Cherry on Sunday. Doors at 7, 11 p.m. is the show. You guys have an EP that just dropped. It's called Bloom. It was on
Bloom.
Friday. Where can people get this?
You can get it on Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora.
I'll be putting it on the Pirate Bay tonight.
My man, yeah. no, you support him. You support him. You support him. Buy it.
Buy it. Pay for their money, guys. Go support this band. It's really, really great to have you guys. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
air.
Thank
Just
you.
Anything you want to say to our crazy listeners?
Yeah.
Find us everywhere at Nikki's Wives. NIKKISWIVES.
Comments. Engage.
Do it.
Engage.
Leave a red heart if you were listening
leave it.
to this.
Awesome, guys.
I love
Thank you
those.
so
Those are
much
great.
For coming in. I really appreciate it. This has been DriveWire this week. Another installment of
Another installment.
The crew.
Nikki's Wives.
That's it.
DriveWire.
We're out.
CFRE. Thank you for
Next week.
listening.